What if everything you believed about building wealth is actually backwards? Most people think growing rich is a steady, gradual climb. But here's the real question you need to ask yourself right now. What if your net worth is actually designed to explode at specific moments, and you are unknowingly positioned to miss all of them? Wealth does not grow in a straight line. It sits still, it tests your patience, and then without warning, it jumps. There are three exact tipping points where your financial trajectory shifts completely, and most people never recognize them while they are happening. Today, we are breaking all three down so you can see them coming before they arrive. Tipping point number one is the moment your investments start growing faster than you can save. In the beginning, building wealth feels almost mechanical. You save money, your account grows. You skip a month, it stalls. You are essentially the engine pushing everything forward manually. The returns exist, but on a small base, they are nearly invisible. Think about it this way. If you have $30,000 invested and earn 8%, that is $2,400. It barely registers. But give that same discipline 10 or 15 years, push that balance to $200,000, and suddenly that same 8% rate generates $16,000 in a single year. You did nothing different. The base simply got large enough to matter. This is the first real tipping point, the moment your capital starts pulling more weight than your paycheck contributions. Here's something most people get dangerously wrong at this stage, though. Every time income rises, lifestyle rises with it. The surplus evaporates, capital never reaches critical mass, and the growth engine never fully activates. The people who cross this threshold share one quiet discipline. They allow their money to stay invested long enough to compound without interruption. And once you cross that line, something even more powerful starts happening. Something that will completely change how you think about your job. Tipping point number two is when your portfolio starts generating income that competes with your salary. Not someday in a retirement projection, but in actual real numbers you can compare side by side right now. Imagine earning $80,000 a year. After taxes, maybe $55,000 actually lands in your account. Now imagine your portfolio is large enough to generate $30,000 to $40,000 in returns during a normal market year. Suddenly your investments are producing more than half your take-home pay without you working a single extra hour to create it. That comparison changes everything. The moment your portfolio starts rivaling your paycheck, your relationship with risk transforms entirely. A difficult situation at work stops feeling like a crisis. Negotiations feel calmer. You gain something most people never experience, the ability to wait. There is also a fundamental difference in how capital income scales versus labor income. Your salary is capped by time, energy, and what the market will pay for your skills. Your portfolio has no such ceiling. A larger portfolio generates more returns simply by existing, not by demanding more from you. Studies on long-term wealth accumulation consistently show that net worth accelerates sharply once investment income reaches a meaningful percentage of earned income. The compounding loop tightens, returns generate more capital, which generates more returns even without increasing contributions. But here is what nobody tells you about reaching this stage. It is not the finish line. It is actually just the doorway to the final and most misunderstood shift of all. Tipping point number three is when work stops being something you need and becomes something you choose. This one is not defined by hitting a specific number in your account. It is defined by leverage. Your assets stop just funding your lifestyle and start absorbing life's unpredictability entirely. Research on long-term wealth and retirement consistently shows that once investment income covers roughly 60 to 80% of basic living expenses, people dramatically reduce their dependence on earned income, even without formally retiring. The wealthiest households derive more than half their total income from assets rather than labor. The defining factor is never extreme wealth. It is always the proportion of income coming from capital versus work. When your financial survival is no longer tightly linked to your daily output, decisions slow down in the best possible way. You stop reacting. You stop chasing. You stop accepting bad terms out of desperation. People without financial pressure negotiate differently. They wait for better opportunities. They walk away from poor situations. Over time, that patience compounds into dramatically better outcomes, not from superior talent, but from reduced exposure to choices made under pressure. Importantly, reaching this point does not mean abandoning work. Surveys consistently show that most financially independent people continue working in some form. What changes is the nature of that work entirely. Hours decrease, autonomy increases, purpose replaces urgency. Work transforms from something you do for money into something you do for meaning. Time becomes the scarce resource, not cash. At this stage, your net worth stops being something you chase across a finish line. It becomes the infrastructure underneath your entire life, quietly shaping your options, your resilience, and the version of yourself you get to become. If this video helped you see your financial journey differently, hit the like button right now. It genuinely supports this channel. And if you are serious about understanding how real wealth is built, subscribe so you never miss what comes next.